Good morning, everybody. This is your host, Sam Varner. I am your host, Sam Varner of She Needs Grit podcast. And when you are listening to this podcast episode, it is the day before my kids are going back to school. We're there. Now, before anybody gets all concerned about this, I have had a really good summer with the kids. Now that they are the ages that they are, we can do a lot of things. They can carry their own stuff. They can find their own bathing suits and get in and out of the car and fill up their own water bottles. So, okay, life is getting easier with kiddos, right? And I enjoy spending time with them. I had the absolute pleasure this summer to take my oldest son, Marcus. We did a little road trip to Oklahoma and back to visit friends of his that had moved this year. And it was a joy, right? It was absolutely so fun to get one on one time. As you guys know, I've got 4 kiddos, and one on one time, and certainly, um, elongated one on one time isn't something that happens very often, right? So that was such a joy with him to get to do that this year. And we've had new sports that we've tried and old sports that have continued throughout the summer and just lots of fun going on. But I tell you, back to school was always a really fun time of year for me as a kid. I loved back to school. Growing up in Alberta, it meant actually fall was coming. So that's not a thing we see in Texas. But we do get to see that like back to school for me, the new books and the crisp notebooks and the new pens and a backpack just is my favorite. So here we are at that time of year, back to school. And now, these days, as an entrepreneur and as a business owner, and as a business owner who works from home, I tell you, I love back to school. I love back to school. I love the quiet of my house when the kids are out the door. I love the fact that I finally figured out that I need to stop work before the kids get home so that I can shift into mom mode so that I don't feel absolute squirrely when they come in and they just want to tell me all about their day and it's all of them talking at the same time. And that I always felt was very overwhelming. And it took me a little while to figure that out when I was working from home and the kids were back in school. So that's just a little tiny tip. If you are a mom who's working from home and you find the transition from work to kids a little bit hard, I take 20, 30 minutes in between when I'm done work and when the kids come home. And I might make a snack for them if I'm feeling super Martha Stewart, or I might just sit and read my book or have an iced coffee. But just some level of transition. You know what I should do then? I really should flip the laundry. There's always laundry to flip in my house. Okay, so maybe that's the new plan. But I will just kind of ease that transition so that when they get home, I can be all in and I don't feel like they're interrupting my work or I'm still trying to get things done, that sort of thing. So I'm thinking about that for back to school. Now, the other thing, I just wanted to offer you one other tip besides just, I don't know, waxing poetic about the idea that it's back to school. And I know all of you out there, back to school is happening. If it's not going to be this week, it's in the next couple of weeks. Um, and I know you're excited too. I know that the kids are getting excited. Mine are ready to go. They've been really good this summer for the most part, but they're ready to hang out with people beyond just their siblings and get back and kind of get into the grind of things. For the most part, they all like school. They wouldn't always say that, but they at least like lunch. So there's that. But where I was going with that is I want you to remember that the joy of a change of season is also a time to reflect on how you are working, when you are working, what hours you're putting things in. Just gives you an opportunity, a natural kind of break in the rhythm to reconsider the way that you're doing things. So for me, this year in particular, this summer, I did a lot of switching in my schedule, and my clients who are listening will know because I feel like I was constantly like, hold on, we got to move your appointment. Because what I wanted to do was create an opportunity where I had back to back clients on two separate days, and then a little bit of work time on the other days. But for the most part, I really wanted to dive into hanging out with the kids, being available, doing things at home. And I was able to do that. And it was so successful this summer. And now I'm at that new season transition. And for us, we've got kids who do sports, and every year the schedule can be somewhat different. And I need to be able to look at, what does my life look like, right? What does my schedule have to be for what I want to do? Do I still want to do the 5:45 a.m. spin class? Do I still want to be doing the gym 4 days a week? Now that it's cooling down, do I want to incorporate more of my workout in the garage location, right? All of these things, just because you've always done them at a particular time in your day or in your week, doesn't mean you have to stick that way. And giving yourself the opportunity to think through what makes the most sense for the season that I'm in. If you're a mom and you are, or dad, and you're sitting at home and you've got little people that are, napping still, right? Those naps shift, right? They change from being a very predictable certain schedule to a different schedule to essentially going away. I'm sorry if that's where you're at. That's a hard stage. But all of that means you get to choose the way that you structure your days, the way that you structure your timelines. And if you're not a parent, I want you to take this seasonal transition to consider that as well. When is the last time you evaluated your entire schedule and decided how you wanted to work, when you wanted to work, what worked best for your current season and schedule? It makes all the difference, and you can move these things around and have them work well. The one other thing I wanted to suggest to you that I have gotten better at this year, but I tell you next year is going to be even better, is taking time off. You are an entrepreneur. You own your own business. As my kids say, Mom, you're the boss. So if you think that taking the week off before school goes back would make your life easier because there's a lot of transition, or if you want to take that whole Christmas break off from your kids when your kids are off school, or you want to take the whole week of Thanksgiving off, or you want to pre plan that every second Friday you take half the day or the whole day off, you are in charge of that. And one of my main messages and missions for every business owner on the planet is to understand that you do not have to work all of the hours to create a massive, profitable business that creates wealth for your family and allows you to live the life you want. In fact, I want to push you really hard to say, how can I make more money and work less? So when you're looking at your calendar, and I have mine up in the wall in front of me, when you're looking at your calendar, put in the time off. Do it now. Do it a lot. Take the time off. Give yourself the flexibility and freedom to believe, and then start showing yourself you can indeed make more money with less time at work than you think. Build the life you are trying to build and make your business support it. We do it ass backwards all of the time, and I cannot encourage you more to take control of this. You're the boss. So, as we get back into school, and we're excited about that for so many reasons, I want you, as your first assignment for this school year, is to look at your calendar and make it work for you. Enjoy that transition, you guys. I would love to hear. Comment below, send me a review. Let me know if you think this is exactly what you needed to hear today. And as usual, I've definitely been sharing. We are moving towards the interview style podcast on this interview style episodes on this podcast. And I want to encourage you, if you are ready to either share your story as a business owner and share your skills to my audience, or you're ready to come on and let's have a coaching call, either way, I want to hear you on the podcast. I want your voice to be in the mic. It's going to be an easy, straightforward conversation with me. Nothing hard, nothing intimidating. Okay. I want you to come on. I want us to shoot the shit. I want us to have a conversation, and I want you to enjoy yourself. So if you're sitting there listening to this and thinking like, ooh, that would be fun, seriously, send me an application. Tell me you're ready. You want to get on the podcast. I want to hear from you. I'm looking so forward to it. All right, guys, enjoy this back to school moment, and I will talk to you next week.